post coming from the official account of President of United States, Mr. Donald Trump, and he said that Pakistan has massive oil reserves, and United States is going to help Pakistan to explore these reserves. Tell us exactly which reserves is he talking about?
You see, we carried out a study a few years ago, and as you might know, when you're exploring energy resources, particularly petroleum resources, there are three kinds of rocks that you're looking for. The first rock, which is called the source rock, is like the kitchen. And in this kitchen, over millions of years, hydrocarbons get brewed. So what we were able to find out through our research that went on for many long years is that an enormous amount of hydrocarbon reserve has been cooked in this kitchen over millions of years. So that's singularly the most important thing to find, because if you find the kitchen, the likelihood of the storage of that petroleum, whether it's a petroleum product, whether it's oil or gas, is in the neighborhood. So the second thing that you're looking for is the reservoir rock. And this is like a very spongy kind of a rock in which, when from the kitchen, just like a pantry, if you have a kitchen, you want to store your stuff somewhere, you put a lot of your stuff in the pantry. And that pantry has a door, which is called basically the cap rock. And that door is locked. And the art of finding the reservoir or actual petroleum products is to look around the source rock and figure out where all it's stored and what is the door that gets you in that pantry. So right now, the information that we have is that over billions of years, not small, not minor, but enormous amounts of hydrocarbons have been cooked, because it takes millions of years to cook these products and turn them into oil and gas. So somehow or the other, within the shores, around the shores of Pakistan, within the Pakistani ocean space, we have found this source rock. I think now we need a lot of technology and we need a lot of investment to look around this source rock and figure out where the pantry is and where the door to the pantry is, so that we can penetrate, we can go into the store, and we can pull the oil reserves out. So I've tried to simplify.
Doctor, this is a very, very expensive and painstakingly long process, and even if the reserves are explored, it's a hellish task to bring them to the shore and then make them usable for the refineries. So, do you have an estimate that what number of barrels are we talking about, in billions or in millions or whatever we have explored so far? That the potential is there, and also tell me that whenever there is oil, there is also a reserve of a gas right next to it. So have you explored the potential for the gas reserves which are present over there?
So to the best of my information, when you look at the source rock or you look at the kitchen, and I'm giving a very juvenile example to make sure that your audience can understand what we are talking about, you can't tell whether whatever hydrocarbon was there converted herself to oil or gas. So the possibility of gas is as much as the possibility of oil. Now you're absolutely right. It's expensive. It's expensive and high risk to look around for where it's stored or where that reservoir rock is. And that's basically where we're going to make the investments. But it's not something terribly unusual. It's not like it hasn't happened anywhere in the world. So all of these offshore rigs across the world that you see, that's exploring the hydrocarbons, the petroleum products offshore, which means within the ocean. So you build a platform, then you basically drill down to the bottom of the ocean, and you meanwhile send signals, geological signals, to see where the likelihood is the highest of finding that storage. And then you drill in. And every few feet that you drill in, you get the signals. And those signals tell you how close you are to where that storage of petroleum products is. So if you look at simply the kitchen, if you look at how much hydrocarbon was cooked, it is an enormous, not a marginal or large reserve, but the possibility of having hydrocarbons in Pakistani ocean space the likelihood is enormous. However, it's still likelihood, and investment is needed, and some appetite for risk is needed. And I think what we've found from the United States is the support of perhaps some of the leading companies across the world that have the technology, that have the will, that have the investment, and that are willing to come to Pakistan and looking for that oil. They will benefit, and Pakistan obviously would benefit enormously. So that's what basically the statement of President Trump means.